This morning we needed a little motivation, so I have this mix that YouTube just kind of makes a list of the things I listen to the most, and we're playing Girl Get Up by Dolce right now, which is my favorite song so far this year. I love it absolutely so much. It's such a good song. I believe that there are 3 things that will begin to shift the way you kind of feel, because I think that what people are looking for most in their self-care journey is to feel differently. I definitely know that's what I was looking for when I started. So those 3 things are: number 1 is gratitude, number 2 is making your bed every single day, and number 3 is getting dressed every single day. And I think for me, the making the bed was kind of the first thing. I would have to say that was one of the most impactful things. I've been getting dressed since I was very young because of my cousins, so I'm always grateful. I'm always gonna give them credit for that. And my grandmama didn't play that. Put some clothes on. Put some clothes on. So, but making my bed really shifted my mindset. I was definitely one of those people that were always like, I'm just gonna get right back in it. A whole 12 hours later, I'm just gonna get right back in it. But making my bed started helping me see how important my living environment is. And then once I started making my bed, then I started making sure my nightstands were clean too, that they matched my bed. Like, the bed was made, I had these 2 junky nightstands, so I stopped like leaving the nightstands junky. Then I used to have this big dresser, and I stopped leaving the dresser junky. I stopped leaving clothes on the side of the floor. Like, this was just a huge trickle effect for me. I am not the neatest person all the time by a long shot. And I also discovered that cleaning is just not one of my strong suits. And so that's why I do have professional help now to help me with that. But these little things really did, just like making my bed, trickled out into making me really feel better about where I lived, and not just where I lived, but how I was living. And then I started making sure that I got dressed every day. But it wasn't just getting dressed and putting on clothes anymore. It was getting dressed with intention. And I also kind of started playing around with different styles. And I started playing around with the feeling of getting dressed. Like, I had a thought process. Like, I was born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness. So even though I haven't been a Jehovah's Witness for a very long time, I still was dressing like I was one. And once I realized that, it kind of started shifting my mind. And I came across a YouTube video where somebody was like, you should get dressed for who you want to be, like the life that you want. And I started thinking about like kids when they have career day at school, and you see like they might get dressed like a waitress, or they might get dressed like an attorney or a doctor. Like, the way I started getting dressed, I started putting more intention into it, the life I wanted. So when I say get dressed, I'm not talking about lots of money. I'm talking about, what life do you want? Do you want a sloppy, slouchy, unkempt life? Well, then absolutely dress that way. If you want a life that, even if it's not pulled together, you want to feel pulled together, then pull it together. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about intention in the closet that you have now. Just get dressed with a little bit more intention. Do you want to be someone who is a mom? Then what's your version of a mom? Get dressed like that. If you want to be a school teacher, what's your version of a school teacher? Get dressed like that. I've wanted to be Della Street for a long time. Y'all know from Perry Mason. So I started dressing like an administrative assistant, and I am an administrative assistant. And I love it. Recently, I've been thinking about someone else I'd rather be than an administrative assistant. And I started changing a little bit of what I've been wearing. I haven't been buying any new clothes. I've just started looking at the clothes the ones that I have in a different way. And another reason I stopped buying new clothes, because that version of me kind of doesn't match my closet right now, but I've been pulling pieces together in a different way to get that feeling of the next phase that I want to be in. And so these two things, which really led me to gratitude, when I started getting dressed with intention, I started realizing how easy it was for me to purchase clothes, and how clothes wasn't expensive as I thought they were. And I started dressing a little bit different, and I started thanking God for giving me an income that I could have the budget to start transitioning over to this way. And it's the same thing with making my bed every day. You would have to know me personally to know what the last apartment I lived in was like. We're not going to talk about it. My nephew came over and he was like, "Are you okay?" TT. He's like, "TT, this is not you. This is not you." I was like, I know. And I was like frustrated all the time in that apartment, but I kept being so grateful, y'all, that I had somewhere to live, that I could afford, that was close to work, that I can't say I felt safe. Can't say that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I did not sleep the whole time I lived there, but I was still very, very grateful for that apartment. And now, you can't pry me out of here. Gratitude will absolutely always shift everything around you. Even the people in my life that I may not speak to, I am so grateful for them, and I pray for them in a positive way. I pray that everything is going well in their life, because I'm so grateful for the lessons that they taught me. I'm so grateful for the time that they were passed through my life. I am so grateful for so many things, and I just keep being that way. Sometimes in my mind I'd be like, ugh. Like my boss, I'd be like, yesterday he sent me a text message, and I just started praying. I said, "Lord, I love my boss. He is the best boss I've ever had." And I was just praying. And being grateful for him. I'm just going to be grateful for him. I'm just going to be grateful for him. He could be worse. So the thought process is, even if things don't look like you think they should look in your life, or not exactly how you want them to be, start being grateful for what you do have, even if it's not your favorite thing in the world, and everything around you will begin to shift. You will begin to see the beauty in things. You will wake up, you will want to make your bed. You will wake up and you will want to get dressed. You just need to start being grateful for every single thing that you have. And these things are not about money. These things are not about being extravagant. These things are not about flexing on. Get off social media. Get off. Log off. Delete. Get off. And be grateful that you can survive in an analog world. Get off social media for a little while and just start sharing and showing gratitude to the life that you have. It's self-care. I just received a text message from my boss that he's on the way to the office. I'm grateful for the morning. We're going to need caffeine today.